I do not know where September went. I think this may have been the fastest month of this year, which is crazy considering how fast this year has gone to begin with. Why am I so low? Hold on. That feels better. Welcome back to the channel. We are going to be picking out our October TBR today, and I'm very excited about it because I kind of failed September and the month went really, really fast, and I am just ready for a fresh start. I love the first of any month because it feels like I get to start a new challenge or whatnot. And I know you can start a challenge any day of the week, but there's something really satisfying about starting like a 30-day challenge on the 1st compared to starting a 30-day challenge on like the 23rd. I don't know, it doesn't feel as like complete and full to me. We're picking our October TBR, but first I want to talk about the September TBR that we picked last month. I did not fully succeed, and by saying I didn't fully succeed, I mean I only did about 50% of the books. So these are the ones that I have completed. We read The Way of Kings, which was a massive undertaking. That book is over 1,000 pages long. And if you want to see my experience of reading it, you can watch my last video where I did like a reading vlog style on the experience of starting the Stormlight Archive and diving deep into Brandon Sanderson's bigger works. I've read some of his standalones, but this is my first time diving into a series of his. We also read The Great Alone and Things We Never Got Over. So we did 3 of the 6. I really enjoyed both The Great Alone and The Way of Kings. Things We Never Got Over was kind of meh. I did not read Better Than the Movies, You Killed Me First, or Just for the Summer. And part of the reason for that is I just read fewer books this month. I was really busy, I was sick, I was traveling, I read a 1,000-page book, and so I did not read my typical quantity of books. Usually I'm at about 8 to 10 books this month, and I think this last month I read like 6. I'm definitely trying to like get back in the rhythm of things now that I'm back to health. Thankfully in October I don't have anything really big happening until the very last week of the month, so I'm hoping the next 3 weeks I can really dive in and read a lot more because I love to read and I love the stories. And 2 of these books I'd actually read before. I have read Better Than the Movies, and I picked this category for the animal spot, and I ended up putting another book in that spot this month, which maybe is cheating. Like, I don't know, is that bad? But I read something else that had such a prominent main character of an animal that I wanted to put it in the domestic spot, so I did fulfill the category, but I did not fulfill it with this book. And then I've read Just for the Summer before. I love that book. It was one of the top books of 2024 for me. It was such a good read. I really enjoy Abby Jimenez's writing, but I wasn't in the mood to read the book, and I was not about to force myself to read one of my favorite books if I was not in the mood for it, because I'm a mood reader and I love that book and I don't want anything to get in the way of me loving that book. For You Killed Me First, I didn't read this because I couldn't get access to it. I was trying so hard to get it from my library. I was trying to get it on Kindle, and I'm really trying to not buy books right now. I'm trying to complete this challenge as much as possible with the things that are available to me. So I'm doing things through Libby, I'm doing things on Hoopla, I'm using Kindle, and really just trying to utilize the resources in front of me rather than pay a lot of money to buy new books that I'm not sure if I'll like or not. This was one of the books that I expected to be able to get access to, and I really couldn't. I tried very hard. I'm excited to read this book. I'm really looking forward to it, but I was not able to read it in September. It just did not happen. All that to say, that is how we did in September. I'm feeling a little bit discouraged about it, but I also remember when I was spinning my TBR, I knew that this month was going to be hard to complete just because I had so many weddings. I'm a wedding planner. If you didn't know, this month was like my biggest month in my company that I've ever had. So I had a lot of weddings going on. I was traveling, I was sick, I was reading huge books. So I knew going into it that this was going to be a hard month to complete in full. And I was right about that. But I hate saying this because don't hold me to this, but I do want to try and get the TBR clean sweep in either October, November, or January, February. I feel like those are my best months because weddings are dying down, but it's not quite the holiday season yet. So fingers crossed, we'll see if I can do that, but I might give it a go. It depends on what I spin, it depends on what my options are, and it depends on how long the books are that I pick. I'm excited to read more. I love this challenge. I've loved doing HRCYED. I'm really happy with the progress I've made so far, and I've chatted for way too long. I just keep yapping. So let's get into the first spin. Ooh, this could be fun. I've had a few of you comment books for me in the comment section of my videos, which I love. Please keep commenting things. There are some of you that comment every single week. Amy, I see you, I know you, I know you're gonna comment on a video, and it brings me so much joy. So I am so excited to see what you all want me to read more of, because I like getting recommendations. So I'm gonna go through my comments and we'll see what books you want me to read. Carrie commented that I should read How the Penguins Saved Veronica, which is set in Antarctica. I didn't know the author, I'd never heard of this before, but I did see it on Goodreads and it looked really cute. So that's definitely a contender. Another one is from Jane, and she recommended that I read Wild Dark Shore. She also recommended that I read The Favorites, which is one of my favorite books that I've read this calendar year. So if they're anything alike, I have a strong feeling I'm really going to enjoy Wild Dark Shore, because The Favorites was just so good, and if someone loved both, then maybe I'll like it too. Karen recommended I read Wrong Place, Wrong Time, and I also knew nothing about this book or really the author before I saw this comment, so I looked into that as well. I would be interested in reading any of these 3 books, but I am already confident on what I'm going to pick, and that is Wild Dark Shore. And I say that because I already have the physical copy. I got this at my library last week. I haven't read it yet. This feels like the best option to put on my TBR because I know I'm gonna read this. I physically have it. And like I said earlier, sometimes it's hard for me to get my hands on books I don't own or have. And so knowing that I have this already feels like a really easy way to knock off one on the TBR. And I'm actively excited to read it. So first book on the TBR, Wild Dark Shore. Spin number 2. Whew, I get nervous. Okay, Rainbow Challenge. I think I only have 3 books left for this. I know the 3 books I want to read for Orange, Red, and Purple. So for Purple, I want to read The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love. For Red, I want to read Crying in H Mart. And then for Orange, I want to read Air of Fire. I currently have both the audiobook and the physical book of Air of Fire. And I feel like maybe that's my sign that I just really need to read that. I've been slumping a little bit in this series. I've been reading the Throne of Glass series for a while, and when I read ACOTAR, I read it like back to back to back to back. I just like boom, 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 done. And this series, I've just not had access to it as quickly because the wait lines have been longer. And so I've felt like I'm really kind of trudging through very slowly. And every time I start another book, I enjoy it, but it takes me a minute to pick it up. And I don't know why that is, but I have noticed that to be true of me. So I'm thinking maybe I need to commit to reading Air of Fire just because it's been so long. I feel like I've heard people say that Air of Fire is when it gets like really good and then you're just like deep invested in the story. I could add Air of Fire to the TBR, but I also know I'm in the middle of the Stormlight Archive, which I really am invested in and I want to pick up the next book for. So I'm worried about getting really invested in 2 fantasy series simultaneously. I'm not worried about mixing them up or anything like that, but it's just a lot of pages because fantasy books tend to be longer. So do I go Air of Fire? Do I go Crying at H Mart? Do I go Ornithologist's Field Guide of Love? I think we go Air of Fire. I think I need to do it. I think this will be my push to read the book because I've been putting it off and I just really think I'm gonna like it. So Air of Fire is going on the TBR. We're going to spin for book 3 now. I keep getting this category. I think this has been on the last 3 TBR videos that I've posted, has been the animals category, and I actually only have one left, and it's the zoo. I wonder what I'll put in there. I need to fill in the zoo category. It is the only spot I have left for animals. And I have 2 books that I think will work. One I know will work. The other one I saw on like a Goodreads zoo animal list a while ago. So I'm not sure how accurate that was. Let me find them. Give me a second. I cannot find my copy of the other book, so we're just gonna put this one on, and this is The Zookeeper's Wife. I feel fairly confident that we'll have enough zoo animals to qualify for this spot on the board. I got this book for $1 when I was living in Hawaii. There was like a book sale at this random bookshop, and so I picked it up. I've had this on the TBR for a very long time. I haven't been drawn to it yet. I'm really trying to do the clean sweep on the full TBR. I feel like putting this book on would actually be good for me because it means I'll read it. And the spot for the zoo animal on the board, for whatever reason, I just have not been looking forward to. I'm just kind of dreading it, which I'm probably gonna like the book. Like, I don't know why I'm like so hesitant with it. So I'm just gonna pick it and really gonna try to read it this month and just finish out that spot. And actually this is also the last spot that I need filled on this category, so I'd get another spot on the board completed, which always feels good. So Zookeeper's Wife on the TBR. All right, next spin. Ooh, I actually have been wanting a nonfiction, so I'm very excited about this. I have so many nonfiction books that I want to read. I was looking at my shelves and I had to rein myself in because I pulled out like 8 books and I needed to narrow it down. So I brought it down to 2. Basically what I'm learning is I need to spend more time reading my nonfiction books because I'm very invested in them. I'm very curious about them and I don't read them nearly as much as I should. So I have 2 very different nonfiction books in front of me. The first is Practicing the Way. This is a John Mark Comer book. We read Loveology by him in August, I want to say. His books are very conversational. I really enjoy reading them. They're really nice to read as a devotional with my morning Bible reading. So this is something I would be excited to pick up, and I do need to start a new devotional book, so it might be time to do this. The other option, again, very different. This is a women's health book. This is Period Repair Manual. It's the story of a period and what it is, why it is, and how we handle it. And I have started this book. I've been reading it very slowly. I'm like maybe 70 pages in. I'm about this far into the book approximately, which admittedly is not very far, but it would give me a little bit of a head start for the TBR. But this is also a book I might want to sit with a little bit more slowly. I feel like there's so much information that I don't want to like rush my way through this. Oh gosh, which do I do? They're just so different. Like I would actively read both of these at the same time because I usually have some sort of nonfiction going that's informative, and then I also usually have some sort of like spiritual nonfiction going at the same time. Can I put both on? Let's go with Period Repair Manual. I'm surprising myself. I didn't expect to pick this, but I have not been putting a lot of time into reading it, and I want to read it more. I want to get through it and have the information inside of it. And so I think it'll give me the motivation to really read this book. Having said that, the next 2 picks I pull need to be books I'm excited about, because both this book and The Zookeeper's Wife are books I've meant to read for a while and have not gotten around to. And I don't want my full TBR to be books I'm like not actively trying to read. So we're gonna have to figure out what the next 2 books are, but they need to be things I'm like itching to read, because otherwise I'm not confident we'll accomplish the clean sweep. Spin number 5. I think this is 5. Don't remember. Here we go. Ooh, I like this. We haven't done one of these in a while. I'm excited about this. There are some books that immediately are popping to mind. This is an interesting category because there are so many spots I have yet to fill. I need to do Africa, Asia, Australia, North America, and South America. I'm not going to be doing North America for this TBR because that's going to be a really, really easy spot for me to fill, because a lot of the books I read are either by American authors or are set in North America. That just feels really easily accomplishable, especially when I'm at the end of the challenge and have very few spots to fill. So I'm blocking that off. The spot I immediately know what I want to read is Africa and the Poisonwood Bible. However, I have had the Poisonwood Bible on my TBR before and I have not gotten around to it. And because I already have 2 books that I'm hesitant about a little bit, like hesitant's the wrong word. I'm worried about my mood. Is what it is. I'm very much a mood reader. I really only want to read what I feel in the mood for. And so if I'm not in the mood for 2 of the books I'm already putting on the TBR, I'm hesitant to put on a 3rd that I've previously put off. So I don't think I'm going to put the Poisonwood Bible on, even though I really want to read it. It's going to happen. I'm going to read it in this challenge. I just don't think now is the time. I don't really want to use the spot for Africa. Asia, there are so many books I could do. I started the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series, so I could do the 2nd book of that. Australia, I really want to read The Order of Masks, which actually I think I might have. Yeah, okay, that settles it. We are going to actually do The Order of Masks because I have access to it right now. And that just feels very accomplishable, and I'm excited to read it. This will be the 2nd fantasy on the TBR because we already have Heir of Fire, but I don't think it's as long, and I'm okay with adding another fantasy book. I'm kind of in the mood for it. It feels like a very autumnal read. So we are adding Order of the Mask to the TBR. Next. I know exactly what I want to pick for this. That was the best way to finish this TBR. There is only one book I can put in this 5-star prediction spot, and it is Words of Radiance. This is the next book in the Stormlight Archive, and I have to put it in the 5-star prediction because it is one of the highest rated, if not the highest rated book on Goodreads. I really enjoyed The Way of Kings. I finished it, and I've been wanting to jump back into the world. I've been thinking about it so much, and the book is so highly rated that I feel like I have to do it. Is it crazy to add another fantasy book to my TBR? Probably. Admittedly, yes. But I am so eager to read it, I don't think it matters. Like, I think it's okay. So we are adding Words of Radiance to the TBR as the final book for October. So as it stands, we have Wild Dark Shore for our viewer recommendation, Heir of Fire for the Rainbow Challenge, The Zookeeper's Wife for Animals, Period Repair Manual for nonfiction. I don't have the physical copy, but on Kindle, I have The Order of Masks for Around the World. And lastly, for 5-star prediction, I have the audiobook of Words of Radiance. I'm excited about this TBR. I'm minorly intimidated. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to try for a clean sweep, but if it doesn't happen, that's okay. The other thing I'll say, if I attempt the clean sweep on my HRCYED board and I fail, I do get to replot the books on the chart. So if I initially have them in TBR clean sweep and then I fail it, I can put them in other spots so that I don't lose points on HRCYED. So just putting that out there. That's all for this week's video. Please continue putting viewer recommendations in my comments. I am so excited to read what you like reading and to hear more about what you're interested in reading and commenting on and all of that. So I am excited to read more books. I'm excited to be in October. I feel like we're finally in fall. One thing I didn't get in this video was a super autumnal book. I really want to read like maybe a little bit spooky thriller or cozy autumnal fantasy books. And I did not really spin that on the wheel, which is totally fine. Sometimes that's just how it goes. But I will be trying to include some of those in my weekly reads because the colors are about to change and there's only so much time. I live in a town where the leaves change for maybe a week and then it's just winter. So I want to soak up the most of the colors that I can while they're here and read some cozy fall books. So if you have any like cozy fantasy or cozy fall like sweater weather books, please comment them below. I want to read them in October and November. Whether they're on the TBR or not, I do want to read this type of books. And I know I need to accomplish the seasonal category for HRCYED. So I have to read an autumnal book in autumn. So please put any recommendations down below because I want to know what's out there. I want to know what y'all are reading and interested in. Having said all of that, keep resting, keep reading, and I will see you soon.